Hello, hello. Welcome to the Wine Suite. It's your girl Maia, and I am here with my other three fabulous women. We're here talking about our upcoming trip to the Wine Bloggers Conference. It's going to be on November 8th through the 12th, and we're going to be in Santa Rosa at the Hyatt, guys. We're here talking about our panel meeting. We're here talking about our panel that we're having there. It's going to be Saturday. I can't remember the time for the life of me right now, but we're all excited about that. You guys are just joining me on Periscope. Thank you for checking us out. You guys can check it out. You can swipe left to right on your iOS, or swipe up on your Android if you guys want to continue to follow this broadcast. Oh, oh, doing things. Anyway, you guys, so I'm gonna introduce our three dynamic women that we have here. All of us are in some version of form of wine and food and beverage. We have Sarita Chiefs here from Buy Me Up. We have Jen Nelson here from Wine Antics. And we have Tanisha Townsend from Girl Meets. So anyway, you guys definitely follow everybody here. You can find them all of their social media tags all over social media, Twitter, Periscope, Facebook, IG, and so forth. We're just going to here talk about what we're going to be discussing at our panel and each aspects of video and how we utilize that on social media. And I'll throw this over to Ms. Townsend. Here you go.
All right. Thanks, my Ian. What an excellent introduction. Appreciate that. So, again, I'm Tanisha of Girl Meets Glass, and I am excited that you all are, agreed to be on the panel, and it is just in like a couple short weeks. And it's titled Lights, Camera, Action. And we are going to be talking about how we do video in the wine industry, with social media, and how that can be done better. Because let's be honest, there is some video content out there that isn't as exciting, we'd say, as some people may be expecting and things like that. So we want to talk about how to better engage with audiences, because I feel like the wine industry is one in which we have not gotten into video the way a lot of other industries have. Whether it's food or fashion or lifestyle or travel, they all are kind of crushing it with video. And the wine industry seems to be behind. So I want to start with the first question for my fellow panelists. What got you into video? Why did you start doing video and go beyond just writing out a blog?
Because blogs create crickets? I don't know. No.
Right, I say it's like the question is.
well,
I'll go first. I'll go first.
Maya, you're so shy. Are you sure?
I'll go get it out the way. So I do have a background in broadcast. It was my major in college. So radio. I've done radio. I've done television. And then I left broadcasting and got into telecommunications. So it's always been a part of me. The live part of me is only about 2 years old. Prior to this, I was active on social media. I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with people being on live video or being on video because I never think anybody's there to see me. This is what I tell myself. So they're there for the content or for the wine or maybe for the onesies, maybe even for the purple hair. That's fine. As long as they're there, and they can get something out of it. And I wanted to do YouTube for about 2 years before Periscope, but I being in television, right? It was all about being produced and production and editing and had to be perfect. And I still have that vision in my head, but I was unable to overcome that. It has to be perfect, right? And then when Periscope came along, when I jumped on Periscope when it was about 9 months out. So I've been on for definitely 2 years. My anniversary is probably around this time. And so this live video, I'm like, well, okay, I just have to be myself, but not really. I mean, I am myself. You have to be authentic. But I was like, okay, if I can sit up here and I can do this and talk about it, right? It's easier for me. Typing was becoming monotonous. The editing of the blog is still, I still want that, but it's time consuming. And I am like, I want to tag everybody and I want everybody to have their shine and the pictures and stuff. This is just, it is what it is, right? If I mess up, if the camera falls on the floor, oh well, let's pick it back up. You're really not here to see me, as I keep telling myself. You're here for the content. And so I'm okay with that. And it makes you fearless. And you just have to be fearless on video. So when all the other lives came out, Facebook Live, I rock Insta stories and the Messenger, which I don't understand why they're different, but okay. And I do Snapchat, and I just kind of like it. It's a routine, and that's why I'm in video, and now I've been able to make it a career. So I'm happy about
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yes. Sarita, Jen.
I started video because Tanisha, you told me to.
You're like, that sounds about right.
When I started blogging, Tanisha was one of the first people that I met as a fellow blogger. And she was like, girl, you just blogging? Yeah, you're going to have to move to video eventually. And I was like, what? I really do? And you were like, yeah, because it's going to get boring. And she was right. It did get boring. My numbers just were just like flatlined. So I needed to like, sort of juice it up a little bit.
And you were like, yeah.
So I was on Periscope for a while, and I did a few series on Periscope, and that was fun. And then I started producing the Swirl Suite, which is pretty much almost like a panelist show, kind of like this. And just full of brown girls, and we cackle and talk about wine nerdy stuff. And you can find us on YouTube as well as a podcast. So it's sort of just morphed into that, but video does add a bit more flair to everything I represent, and people like it. People who actually still read blogs, mine in particular, they like when I add the video content in the link or whatever. So yeah, that's about it.
I get the final word.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So I can blame nearly everybody on this panel for my path down wine content creation period, and then into video. I mean, I was coming out of working full time, then getting my master's degree, and I got my master's degree in marketing, and I was looking for that edge. What's next? What's the next upcoming thing as a marketer? I'm not 20 something years old. I wasn't born on social media, so it didn't come immediately natural. And live streaming was starting up, and live video itself was really starting up when I was coming onto the wine content creation scene, when I was finally ready to stop messing around at festivals volunteering and actually start putting out some content. As Sarita knows and Tanisha knows, for a minute I was sitting around behind the scenes. Maia was the one who actually pushed me to Blab, because I wasn't getting a whole lot of traction on Periscope. People just didn't care about my level of wine nerdiness. I don't understand. Come on now. I mean, in this group where we are on the Facebook Wine Bloggers Conference alumni page, they care. They understand the wine nerdiness, but the Periscope audience didn't really care. So I went over to desktop production and met a new audience, and now I've moved into not only continuing wine content creation but doing live stream production, which is wrapping all this big marketing, digital presence, video, which is the growth. It is the future of a lot of digital marketing. So yeah, I think that's my path to ascension, and I'm very happy to be here now.
It's interesting how everybody's path started as one thing, and then none of us were scared to try something else. So I do, and that's why when it was time to, think about a panel, I mean, of course, you ladies were the first ones to come to mind because you have jumped out there. I've known all of you since kind of the beginning. I met my Ia years ago, and then Sarita right before I left DC. And Jen, I remember that meeting that I had with you when you came to one of my classes, and then we went to Fridays afterwards. So just to see how everyone has embraced video and come to where they are now, I'm very proud of you, ladies. So I definitely wanted to say that. Next question. So we know how you got into video. What are some things that keep you inspired to keep going? Because you mentioned that when you were writing, people weren't tuning in too much, or people weren't really reading it, or you weren't getting the response you wanted. You may not always get the response you want with the live stream. There may not always be people in attendance. Sometimes it may be 3, sometimes it may be 55, sometimes it may be 200. What do you do to keep yourself inspired to keep going?
All right, I'll go first. So really quick, I would just like to say that Tanisha, I'm gonna give her 2 seconds to shine. She's like the queen regent, okay? Right? She's like the queen regent. If you guys don't know the duties of the queen regent, y'all Google, because she is the boss, right? I only am saying that because Tanisha started in the video. I met you with stepsisters. We met at an event, and then I saw that you guys were already doing videos. And I ended up going on Twitter because of you guys. I remember the day, it was July, and it was like, it was June. And I was like, let me sign up for Twitter, because now we got to be able to converse, right? And so she kind of got me on this a little bit, between her and Gary Vee. So I'm just say that real quick. Anyway, what am I here for? I'm here for the money. Y'all know I'm going to keep it 100. I am here because there is opportunity here for you to work for yourself and to make money that will sustain you and your family for real. And you're providing good content, and you're educating the people, and you're trying to, bring forth what you're trying. I'm trying to bring forth more diversity. I think video is very powerful. And I'm a couple of people, because I have dyslexia, okay? So I have a learning disability. So when I didn't find out till like I was in my 30s. So I look at things differently. And I'm in HR. I have a background in HR. So everybody learns differently. Video, paperwork, sometimes people are visual, sometimes people are on the job training, sometimes people can consume. But video is very effective. And if people knew the number, like I start with numbers, I just throw out statistics, okay? I'm gonna lay that foundation. And then I talk about how it works for business-wise. I've been able to create another business. I have a whole other business on social media. I'm getting certifications left and right in these applications because they're saving lives. I mean, for real lives, financial lives, changing people's lives, and they're helping us become more productive. And so all of those matter. You can make money and do what you love to do and not apologize about it, because I don't. Now, I'm not trying to get super high, you guys. I'm not trying to get up to Oprah status. That's not my path. I want to stay in the trenches, sort of, kind of. But don't get it twisted. I'm trying to make money too. And there is a lot of ways to do that. And I can be home with my kids, and I can do what I need to do and still provide passive income. Not just making money here and there on blogs and stuff, passive income. Educating the wine community is very important. And I'm astounded how many labels don't even have Instagram. I'm like, I don't care what you do. You better have at least Facebook and Instagram for if you're in the wine area, because you can't taste this. I can't pour. You can see it, right? And now with the capabilities, like Twitter is married to Periscope. So right now, my stream is on, y'all. And I have the bottle of wine up. So people just scrolling up and they gonna see me. They ain't gonna see me. They gonna see this. And if that's a bottle that they like, right? Yeah, that's Trader Joe's label. I don't want to hear it. If that's a bottle that they like, they're gonna stop and they're gonna listen. No matter what I look like, no matter what they, I like that bottle. So that's why I love video. Or on Instagram, you take a photo. Videos on Instagram, they're very effective. But that's why I'm in it. So hey,
All right.
I think for me, what keeps me motivated is probably the wine industry as a whole, the people in it, and the city I live in. There is always something new to discover, and I want to be the one to bring it to people. So I think that keeps me motivated. And I think my favorite live platform now is probably Instagram Live, because it's so easy. You can do the pictures and then tag the winemaker or tag the restaurant, tag the wine bar, and it's quick and easy. There's really no editing. They have filters, not as good as Snapchat yet, but they're getting there. So, but
do you mean Instagram Live or Insta Stories?
I'm sorry, Insta Stories. Insta Stories. Yeah, that's what I meant. But long story short, what keeps me motivated is the city I live in. There's always a new restaurant. There's always some new wine shop that's popping up. And there's always, and I like the people behind the bottle. I like to see why they decided to make wine, why did they decide to sell wine, why they're making wine in a certain way. So the industry as a whole keeps me motivated.
Boom, she keeps it easy. It's just the industry that keeps her going.
In and out. Go. Drink it. Go.
Drink it. I want to echo what Maia says. Tanisha, thank you very much for having the forethought to bring us all together, and even more, thank you for considering, personally me. I appreciate that you recognize what's going on in the industry and have kept me in mind as we're all going along on this video journey. Let's go with journey. That sounds better. So what keeps me motivated? A little bit of competition keeps me motivated. Seeing what other people are doing and trying to always find a way to relate my content to people in new ways. And I don't even mean competition as in terms of wine bloggers, other wine bloggers. I watch a lot of YouTube content. I watch a lot of Twitch live streams. I watch a ton of video content, and looking at other genres and how they're doing it right and how I can bring it to the wine content creation space. So I started doing wine live streaming back in late 2015. And I have transitioned that into my own business. I'm the co-founder of Vitmug Productions, which is a media and production company. And I am now doing what I have learned behind the scenes as a wine content creator and live streamer for other people. So I'm not only getting to watch live streams and watch video, but I'm producing for other types of genres. I'm producing for conferences. I'm producing for virtual conferences, real conferences, people's shows, all types of things. And you can get a lot of inspiration from what others are doing, and not within our own community, because we can't recycle what other people are doing. That's only going to keep things mundane. We want to keep it fresh, and that's really what I like about video.
All right, so changing it up a little bit, getting slightly away from the actual, us talking about video and our content and things like that. Since we do video and we interact with our audience, sometimes right away, sometimes in our inbox, we have questions from people who have seen us at an event or seen us drink a certain thing. What is the number one question that you get most often?
Oh God, what's your favorite wine?
Yeah,
Constantly. What's your favorite one?
Okay, what is the question you get that you actually like to answer, or what question has surprised you?
Let me think on that. Somebody else go.
Ooh, I got a recent question, and I'm not calling anybody out, but it's not somebody in the blogging community. Somebody asked me if they could get the same amount of like wine pairing complexity, really bringing out a bold profile in a great steak or even a chicken dish, if they just drank grape juice, not wine, because they don't like wine. Now,
anything else to talk about?
No. So they wanted to know if they could pair grape juice, 100% grape juice, with a steak or chicken and get a nice profile, get that complexity that wine brings to steak, the complexity that wine brings to fish or to chicken. And this is a complete wine novice. And I actually really enjoyed that question. It wasn't, what's the best wine under $20? Because that's hard. What's your favorite wine? What's the best wine available? Like, those are hard and very subjective questions, but this was a very specific question, and I didn't want to blast the person for being like, really, grape juice? Really?
I like grape juice.
Really grape juice? Like, I didn't want to do that. I actually appreciated the question because, the videos, Welchers right now has got a campaign that says, hey, Merlot grape, we've got some of those great characteristics that you do as Concord. Yeah. So, you start to think about that. Okay, well, if they have the great characteristics, maybe I can pull something from grape juice. No, you can't.
Because grape juice is one grape. So, like, you have red and white, but it's a grape, not like multiple styles of grapes from multiple terroirs. So that's the reason I would say grape juice won't give you the same complexity. Just the fact that it is literally one grape.
Well, it's also all sugar. I mean, that sugar hasn't been converted into alcohol, so you're just sugar, whether it's added or not, or 100% grape juice or not, it's still a bunch of sugar.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, I set you all up. That was a fun question. I'd never been asked anything like that before.
So maybe it has to do with not just grape juice, but maybe like different juices, like doing grapefruit juice, orange juice, apple juice, tomato juice, and then pair things and think about the different ways that all of those would match up with foods instead of just grape juice, since again it's grape.
Now, if it were, fresh pressed grape juice, even fresh pressed wine grape juice, like the traditional Vitis vinifera grapes being pressed, that has a whole level of complexity that is unbeknownst to me in terms of any 100% grape juice I've ever experienced in my life. That is delicious, and you could probably pair that with some dishes and bring out something very fun. But again, you have a ton of sugar and you have to think to balance that. See? Like, this makes us think, right?
Well, I'm about to do a tomato juice pairing, which is going to end up being a Bloody Mary pairing, but whatever.
The press and Welch's, if we talk about Welch's grape juice, because that is really not, that's just a sugar bomb.
How
it's
you know I'm not sponsored about Welch's?
Me and my mom had a fight over Welch's. Go look at the sugar grams on Welch's. It's just a bomb of sugar.
I got on my Welch's t-shirt.
Oh. Do you have on a Welch's?
I don't look like a grape. No, I'm kidding. Girl, this is not.
Can you see that little tiny sign above the wine sign? That says Welch's. Sponsored by Welch's. #ad. Can I take a minute and say hello to Devon and Mad Martian? Hey, Mike out there.
Hey, y'all.
Guys. So excited.
For me, my favorite question to answer is, what's your favorite pairing? You guys know I can go on and on about my favorite pairings, and like little stuff you can find in the house. Like, Maia just posted a question and tagged me, and what's your favorite candy pairing? And I think I said that it's acai grape and Butterfinger. So anyway, I can go on and on. But what? Did you just frown at Butterfinger?
First of all, I don't like chocolate at all. Okay.
Oh, okay. Well,
combination.
Done. I have the power to kick her off. Let's just get rid of her right now.
No. Oh my God. Can we change the panel this morning?
You're dead to us.
And then there were three.
Okay, you gotta explain that because I really don't understand.
At all. Like no chocolate, like dark milk, white.
Oh, y'all seriously want to talk about this? Oh,
Yes, it's a problem. This is a
You
problem.
all were like, what?
before my daughter, I had her at 38. Y'all know I'm old. So for 38 years, me and chocolate were not friends. I wasn't friends with mint. I wasn't friends with peanut butter. I don't like nougat. The word is
That is the best face. Nougat.
Right?
Nougat.
Then my daughter came along and she gave me a sweet tooth because she don't really like sweets. Like she can't even drink grape juice because it makes her sick. So she gave me a little bit of sweet tooth. So every blue moon, I'll have maybe a chocolate mousse and maybe some cheesecake. I'll do all the sorbets, but chocolate as a general, first of all, the Butterfinger, Sarita. Side note, you need to do a wine and candy and fast food book. And we're going to talk about that in, Santa Rosa. So, but back to Butterfinger and Three Musketeers. My brother used to terrorize me with Three Musketeers. Kit Kat, Reese's Pieces. They should die deaths of destruction.
Oh my God. I have received it now. Somebody brought some to me, and I was so grateful.
No. I hate when I was going around and Halloween with the kids, and when they give the kids like a Butterfinger or Three Musketeers, I have a visceral reaction. I have to go.
Girl,
Can't be around you.
you're crazy.
For two reasons. Number one, that you don't like chocolate. And number two, because you don't like chocolate, there's more chocolate for me, and that's bad for me.
I'd rather have butter and cream.
Oh, I have seen the ruse you make. It's a little ridiculous. I've seen the dishes. If you didn't know, guys, Maya does some cooking too. If you've missed that, you've missed a lot. It's one of the fun things about being a wine content creator. You tend to become a little bit of a travel content creator, a little bit of a food content creator.
You're not just drinking wine in your life. You are also eating.
You can't drink wine every day and talk about it on Periscope. That's insane. I would be listen. I would have to go to the clinic because that's a problem. You have to do
just run out of words to say. It's only so many. Oh, this is spicy. This is fruity. Ooh, dark. Ooh, citrus. All of that's fine too. But one thing, it just needs to be in a context. Like you rarely drink wine alone. So why just talk about reviews? Put it in the context of something else. Put it in the context of wine with friends, wine with food, wine out to dinner, a wine at a bar. What kind of wine can you get if you go to TGI Fridays? Are you getting good stuff? Are you not? Is it old? Should you get by the glass? Should you get a bottle? There are so many things to talk about outside of just how much spice and oak is in my glass. And so one thing I like about watching everyone on this panel's content, we talk about so much more than just that.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. All right. Next question. I'm not gonna ask what your favorite wine is. I'm not gonna ask
girl.
What is one thing about wine that since you've been on video or learning or anything, what's one thing that surprised you?
You said surprised?
Surprised you, or one thing that you just like, really? Whether it's like a certain pairing that you tried, or a certain wine that you tried and didn't think you would like, or some wine that you never heard of and you tried that and you thought it was amazing. What's something that has surprised you recently?
Oh, recently. Oh, she just flipped the script there.
Or maybe a long time ago.
Well,
surprised to know how rosé was made 10 years ago and it's not red wine and white wine being poured together. I don't know. Oh, y'all didn't know that, right?
I had two. I had a I went to a rose tasting for Breakthrough Beverage this summer, and they had a rose from Argentina, but it was a Pinot Grigio grape. I almost passed out. I said, "What?
Mm.
What?" I said, "What are they doing down there?" It was amazing. The bottle was beautiful because I'm a sucker for bottles too. And that was my first time. He was like, "This doesn't happen." I was like, "How does Pinot Grigio get to Argentina and you make a rosé?" I
Mm.
love to have those, and I'm thinking it's my first time. He's like, "Oh, it's my first time too." That was a great, those little discoveries, that feeds my wine nerdyism. Okay, because I do, have it, but I don't know if this technically doesn't count. I went to a cognac and oyster tasting,
Mm.
and I
Cognac's
said,
made from grapes. It applies.
wait, I said, nope, I'm not down for this, y'all. In my head, I was like, I said cognac and oysters. He said the oysters. Wait, I remember from Puget Sound. Okay, I was like, okay, and I was hungry, so I sat down and I had me an oyster, and
Mm.
I had a glass. Now the cognac was $500. Okay, let me preference that. The bottle was $420. And that was the first time in I said, I will purchase this and I will have this experience again. I did the happy dance all day. Oysters and cognac. Cognac's made from grapes, people, because y'all know y'all don't know. But cognac's made from grapes, okay? That is why we have to know about it in the wine community, okay? Cognac is a region in France. It's not just the name, people. I have to school the Periscope community, okay? Just so you know, go try it. I have it posted on my Instagram. It was an experience. I'll never forget it. And those moments are I love for those. So
That sounds fantastic. That sounds wonderful.
we should do it one day, y'all.
Mm.
Yeah, whenever I got $1,000 laying around, sounds like a great
Yeah.
time.
Okay,
Yeah.
Or I can
All
suggest
right,
several
Jen.
bottles of cognac for
Let's
you
get
for
it
under
together.
$50. So we can do it. We can make it happen. Everybody put in $10, $12. We can work some things out.
I'll slip you a 20 at the conference, okay?
We'll travel to Cognac with Tanisha, and then somebody will find us some oysters. They may not be from Puget Sound, but they will get it together.
Yeah, no, they could be for France.
Mm.
So over the past couple months, I've been doing Friday at the Fountains, an outdoor, very small, probably like 300 people coming through over a 5-hour period, which isn't a big event. And I have learned that all of my book knowledge means pretty much nothing to the average consumer. Not only do they not care about my book knowledge or my wine nerdyism, as Maya said, they think I talk too much about wine. They want to know what is close to what they're already comfortable with, right? If I have a Picpoul, if I have a Torrontés, which is closer to Pinot Grigio, because that is something they are comfortable with, and they may or may not be in their comfort zone, willing to step out of it. Okay. So I've completely learned that I didn't anticipate to learn, but I have completely learned how to relate to consumers completely differently over the last couple months. And that has actually surprised the bejesus out of me. And it's very funny to hear how some retailers and distributors and importers will talk to consumers versus somebody like me who has been in front of the public a lot recently, and how they interact and how people respond. Like there's this prestige with even winemakers, importers, distributors that have that firsthand connection to wine, but then they don't really relate all the time. And I find that constantly interesting and evolving with consumers, average consumers, I should say.
Now, interesting you mentioned that. What do you think? We'll go back to video content, what do you think could be done to better that? Well, I guess lessen that disconnect.
It depends on what perspective. From a consumer perspective, you take personal responsibility and try to educate yourself a little bit better to come up, right? That's one angle. And then from retail is a little bit easier because you always have that customer interface. You're always going to have to relate to them. You're always going to have to be that translator between a winemaker, a winery rep, a distributor, an importer. But for that winemaker, distributor, importer, getting more public time, getting a heck of a lot more public time. And just because we think of millennials and even the age of technology that consumers are more aware and more educated. In a lot of regards, they are in terms of finding good prices, right? But not always in terms of how to buy smarter. Mm-hmm. So I think it should be a twofold thing, but in reality, it's just better for the distributor, winemaker, importer to come down to a relatable level for the consumer.
Okay, Maya, were you about to say something?
I'll piggyback off of what Jen said. When I worked for Total Wine, shout out to Total Wine in Laurel, Maryland.
Just Total Wine, Butterfinger. All right.
Love it. When I worked the tasting table, my table was always popular because I understood who was coming into the restaurant, and I was them. I'm like, I was that customer maybe 8 years ago, right? Coming in here, knowing what I know, and I want you to help me find what I know. What I learned about consumers is that you need to talk to them at their level. And maybe I have customer service background, I have HR, so I'm a people person, even though it don't seem. I'm a people person, right? What? So, because I'm a little mean sometimes. And so anyway, I'm a people person, and I come at them at that level. However, let me tell you, and my Periscope audience is very, they ask a lot of questions that are very repetitive, and they're just trying to find out, where can I get this wine? I'm going on a date tonight. What can I do? Mm-hmm. Holidays are coming up. What do I need? So they're, they just want my phone. So I talk to them on that level. But I realized in my, years in this, you gotta also have another level in your wine nerdyism. Mm-hmm. At this Wine Bloggers Conference, I'm just gonna be like, kumbaya. We, all my nerdy wine people, and I could talk to you about viscosity because your customer don't care about viscosity. Like, well, what is that? And you can't. And so if you're talking to them at that level, you've lost them, right? Mm-hmm. You can't. You have to, and you can't even give them your point of view. I have a sweeter palate, right? If you don't have a sweeter palate and I'm giving you what I like, mm-hmm. I'm not helping you. I'm not serving you. And I think that people need to, and I'm talking about in the wine community, bloggers, trade industry, I think a lot of people need to understand that they don't care about the Rhone if they drink Sutter Home. Oh, I might have to put that on.
Did you plan that, Ryan?
Right? I'm gonna have
right? That's a tweet. They don't care about the Rhone if they drink Sutter Home.
I'm about to tweet that right now.
Hashtag my Ia said so.
My Ia-ism.
They don't. They're like, and if you sell, and even if you were able to sell them that bottle, they'll never come back to red or that, because that first experience is what they're going to remember. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not even going to that rep because we don't. So I think that people need to, keep your feet in both areas. I am credentialed because I need to stay in the education and in the nerdy part of it, but I'm also with the people. I'm gonna be in the corner with y'all drinking the not so expensive stuff because I want to talk to you guys about what's going on over here. I don't want to be over there. Well, I do, but I don't want to be over there immediately. You have to be in both levels. That's all I'm saying.
So Mike, the Mad Martian asks, does a jester, and I haven't had a drink. Jester hat count as another level? Because Mike is the Mad Martian and he has crazy hats and he does a lot of video. He does a lot of video editing, a lot of complex things that I have yet to tackle. And I think having something like props and or an angle or permission to be a little bit more fun does make you more relatable as a video content creator or as a written content creator.
Definitely. It makes you more relatable. People nowadays like talking to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ever seem like you're, way up here for your average consumer, that's very intimidating for them, especially when it comes to wine. Maybe not so much other industries, but when it comes to wine, people want to talk to someone who seems to talk their language.
Mm-hmm.
Like Maia mentioned talking about viscosity, and that's something that she likes to talk about, or acid or things like that. If I start to talk to you about terroir and rootstock and what is vitis vinifera versus vitis something else, then like your eyes are gonna, like, you all are fine, but the average consumer, their eyes are gonna glaze over and they're gonna be like, girl, so is the Riesling this way or is that Al 5? Like, what?
Right.
Where's my next glass of wine? Because I need it.
I'm gonna just go to the shop across the street. Like, that's how they're going to look. But if you talk to them about the actual flavor profile, or if you like Riesling, well, you know what, why don't you try a Chenin Blanc, or why don't you try this because some of the characteristics are the same. When you can talk to them like that with something that they're interested in, and at their level, they are so much more appreciative of it, and then they understand it and they want to come back to you for more information.
If I can interject really quick. One thing I learned about producing the Swirl Suite is that our most popular shows aren't wine focused. People connected with us, our personalities, our lifestyles, and that's what they reach out to. And then we sort of reel them in and get them to the wine, but it isn't always about wine in the beginning. And that's something that you have to realize if you're a distributor or winemaker or something. You have to connect with people, especially if you want to sell them something. If you're trying to tell them something, you want them to absorb something. So that's one thing that I learned recently, that sometimes it's not about the wine. It can get there, but sometimes you got to talk about something else. Sometimes you're going to talk about your celebrity crush and if his beard connects. Sometimes you can talk about
if it don't connect, neither do we. Neither can we.
I think one of my best streams, and this was probably of last year, I was wine pairing with social media platforms. Like, if Snapchat were a wine, what would it be? So you're taking your take on how you perceive Snapchat and then pairing it with a wine, giving it personality, making it super relatable. That was one of my best live streams.
I actually like that question, and everyone think about that, and we'll discuss it on our panel. So you have to come to our panel to see what our answer is.
Boom.
Yay. I love that.
Last question I'll have before we wrap things up, unless anyone has anything else to say. What is one thing that you know now that you wish you knew when you started? And that could be anything. That could be about video. That could be about wine. I mean, hey, get personal. It could be about your life. Like, you know what? I wish I knew all these baguettes is gonna make me fat. Like, I wish I knew
before moving to Paris.
Right.
You know what? It's so silly. I wish I knew that I could make this into a career before I went to grad school and got over 6 figures in debt. That's what I wish. That
Okay.
when I see my loan amount, I just get angry because I'm like, you know what? Wine would have never cost me that. I could line up all my certifications and the
Mhm.
master sommelier program. It would be an eighth of a fraction of all the loans I took out to grow to have a uh, to go to grad school, and I didn't even finish grad school because I'm still 9 credits away from an HR manager, but why go back? I'm in wine now, and I utilize those skills, but if I want to go back to school, I have to take out more loans, right?
Mhm.
And I don't want to do that because this is where I'm at. So I wish I had known. I wish. I think this is just it's very interesting how we're all Generation X, right? So we grow up saying, okay, we were at least college was at least a conversation, okay?
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
so there, but your job was a doctor, lawyer, da 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 da. It was like 10, 15 jobs, right? No one talks about the guy who holds the microphone and
Mhm.
the gaff. That's a job.
Mhm.
Nobody talks about the wine jobs. And we've had to find those through just fate and falling in and passions. But people don't talk about that. So, one of my future goals is to have a school, and I'm just turning out sommeliers of color and women. I don't care about nobody because they ain't having no problems. Okay. We are churning out minorities and women songs in the school that I will have later on in the future. So because those conversations need to be had about all these other places that you can go. And you may not have to go to a 4 year. You need your paper. Let me be clear. You need some form of paper, but you may not have to go the 4 year or postgraduate route. When
Mhm.
I was in DC, everybody had a master's. So you had to go there. It was just not even a thought. Who don't have a master's out in Maryland, DC? You just went the route. In Colorado, I don't need a master's. And
Mm.
come to find out because of video and all the social media and the wine aspect, I I I, I could have said I didn't even need a postgraduate, I just needed my certifications. Will I continue to get my certifications? I got 3 more and then I'm done. Okay. But I I do that for me. I don't need to do it. I can stop right now, rest on my laurels, and continue to monetize and get income from this genre. But I want to do other things. So yeah, I wish those conversations were had, especially with women.
Um, I think that probably 10 years ago, I wish I would have known that I was enough. Um, because I think I didn't start my blog until I was well into the industry. I had worked at a winery. I had the certification. Like that I could have shown my journey to those places, but I didn't think I could even step on a screen before I had all these things, before I had the experience, before I had the certification, before I knew certain people. And like I was sitting here today, it's just like, oh, well, shit, I could have started this years ago had I just believed that I was enough. So, if you're thinking about starting something, if you have expertise or passion for something and you want to put it out there, you want to start your own video, you want to get on YouTube, just go ahead and do it. I just say do it. Don't hesitate. Don't
Do
think
it.
that you need such
Yeah.
and such. Don't think that it's not the right time and you need to lose 10 pounds. It's not even that deep. You're enough
It's
and
not,
start.
Yes, Serena, that
yes,
was
because real
wonderful.
talk on our panel, and I'll have the rest of you all send this to me. Like I'll show an old video of me, like doing it like when I first started doing the video. Oh my God, it's trash. I look at it now and laugh. Like what? Like I look boring. Okay. My name is Tanisha. I'm like, so you just have to get in and do it. Over time, you will get better. Like if you look at some of your, major artists, and you see their music videos for when they first started, they weren't always popping. Beyonce don't
Mm-hmm.
look the way, the way she looks now. Destiny's Child didn't look that same way.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Have the same, aura about her, but over time she kept doing it and kept at it, and she developed. And that's the same with everyone here or everyone watching, everyone that will watch. You just have to start. You have to press record, and like my Ia has said, she presses record. If the camera fall, if the phone fall, well, pick it up, talk a little more. Let's get all up. I've been on her Periscope. The Periscope dropped. Well, I gotta come back in. Hey, y'all still there? Great. Thanks for joining. Thanks for coming back. Like, you just have to do it.
Yeah.
That's it. And then Jen, what do you wish you knew?
So and I agree. Like, you have to start somewhere. You have to, if you want to create something, whether that's a blog, written content, whether that's creating a social media personality, your own brand, or video, you have to start somewhere, and you have to get over whatever your mental hurdle or physical hurdle is, and you've got to find that path to do it. Some people have to do a little bit of coaching, some people have to do online certifications, take training courses, whatever you got to do. You got to do that, because this world runs on passion nowadays. It really does. It is not enough to just be in a corporate space. Your whole life now, your whole resume lives online, unless you're in very, very private sectors of work. Even 5 years ago, what I wish I would have done differently than what I'm doing now, I wish I would have pushed harder to market better, honestly. Juggle the things that it takes to successfully build a brand, because like Maia, I'm in this for money. I never came into the wine content creating space saying that I wanted to just do this just for passion. I wanted to have passion in it, and I have passion in it, but it was going to be my way out of a miserable space and a miserable job. I like wine because people are happy to see me when I have wine.
Yes, they are.
That is it.
Anyway, Jen, we're happy to see you anyway, Jen. But you don't have wine tonight.
But y'all have wine. But
I don't. I am the only one that got wine. Well,
no, Sarita's got wine.
I got wine. Sarita be on the low.
Yes, most of my friends are happy to see me personally, but complete strangers are happy to see me when wine is involved, and that's completely opposite of my previous job. So that's why I purely got into wine, is because people are freaking happy when it comes to wine. So I just wish I would have juggled more things and tested more things and pushed more envelopes when I was in school. I focused, I went back and got my master's degree, thankfully due to the VI, so I could go back to school and get my master's degree. I wish I would have pushed the envelope more in terms of figuring this out. Everybody has their own journey, but it's, hindsight is 2020. Honestly, I wish I just would have pushed more. Marketing is hard.
Yeah.
Thank you all for sharing. You all got really real. I that. And so, with all that being said, anyone watching and those who will watch later, I don't want you all to have any regrets. If you are thinking about getting into video, or just trying to do, even if you don't want to do video content creation solely for your site or solely for yourself, if you want to get into any kind of video, you need to be at our panel, and you need to start. So don't be afraid. Come to our panel. We will talk about how to start, some different things you need to know, kind of how we started. We will go more in depth on content, what it should be, what it should not be, because it should not be boring, because no one wants to do boring. But yeah, we hope to see you. It's Saturday. What Saturday, November? What's that date?
11th.
10:30 a.m.
10:30 a.m. We did have a question. I know. Tavon did have a question, but I want to put something out to anybody who's listening now live in Periscope or on the replay. If there's something very specific that you want us to talk about, speak now. And I'm being real honest. You never get this opportunity to have a say in the content of panels. Like that is one of the most frustrating parts is like, you know, you're waiting for that last 5 minutes. You may or may not get your question in there. We're doing this live stream today because we want to connect with you ahead of the conference. We are very real people and very reachable. I mean, Maia is streaming all the time. I stream on my personal page. I stream on Wine Antics. I stream on VitMug. Sarita is out and about on her blog. She's on social media. She is doing podcasting. Tanisha is all over Paris. And if you're not following her on Tumblr, on Instagram, are you on Snapchat? Have you been doing Snapchat much? Good. See, we are approachable and all of our tags are in there. Whatever you want to know about live video, this is your opportunity. Please reach out to us and I will personally find a way to work every question into my discussion. I will answer it. You may have to search for it, but I will answer it. Tavon did have one question. He said, "What are your thoughts on edited videos versus live videos?" And I'm gonna throw this to Tanisha first because she gave us all the questions.
Yeah. No, and I edit my videos. And I do that. I have no problem with edited videos as long as it's not like over edited and it looks like I'm watching some not real program on television. I edit because my environments aren't always totally dependent on me. Like I don't record videos at home. I'm used at a bar, at a lounge, in the street, on the train. And so other things happen and I'm like, I gotta edit that out. The homeless dude who just sang a song and asked me for change. I don't need that in my video. So my content and my tone is still the same. And as long as you have that, I think edited video is fine.
Yeah. I edit my videos, especially for the Swirl Suite, because people get real comfortable real fast with us. And I was like, oh, dang. Girl, no, we cannot say that. So sometimes it's us. Sometimes because we're so casual with each other, it's like, oh, I'm glad we're not live today. I got to edit that out. So I edit it for those purposes. And sometimes it looks a little cleaner, but there are a lot of unedited shows on YouTube because I frankly didn't have the time and didn't know how in the beginning. So, I mean, if you edit, either way, just start. Don't even worry about it.
Because you can also see more if you edit a video. Like, if I'm at a place and it's like, okay, I'm just talking about the wine. Then if I edit it and add in pictures of the actual place, if I add in pictures of the wine, a picture of the menu and make it a whole thing, then like that's actually giving the consumer more to work with instead of me just saying, hey, come to this restaurant, it's great.
Right.
Look, eating steak. And then, you know, a real clunky turn the camera around so you can see it, then turn it back around and then I just cut that and then do another video of the food. Like, if you can edit. If you can't, there's a YouTube video for that.
Well, no, there's not even that. So for me I'm very produced and edited. My YouTube channel, I have on my timeline debut in the spring of 18, right? It will be very produced, okay? It will be very YouTube friendly because that's what I'm doing it for, right? I will continue to do Periscope hot messness and Instagram stories and Snapchat. This is the realness, right? Okay, so I'm gonna do both. If my YouTube people, and I'm gonna let my live viewers and let everybody know, hey, you guys, this YouTube is the produced piece. This is the flash and the sizzle, maybe some kind of production. This is that's what I want it to be, okay, for YouTube. I mean, I could easily just put my Periscope up on YouTube, but you got two communities. People need to understand that all the platforms are not created equal, okay?
You're right.
So YouTube viewers are different from Periscope viewers, are different from Twitter. Your Twitter audience are different from Facebook. So yes, I want them to be like, She got it together, right? If you really want to see the truth, of course I'm gonna put all the links in, y'all. This is it. Okay. So that's how I look at it at both. You can do both, but just do it. Be consistent. You need to produce 2 to 3 pieces of content a week. That's it. There ain't no debate. There ain't no discussion. The numbers don't lie. The algorithms don't lie. 2 to 3. You just have to be consistent and just go. Just give yourself a break.
All right.
And on that note,
no. Short and sweet on this. Honestly, depends on how far you want to go with it. If you want to grow on live streaming, right? You produce 2 to 3 pieces of content a week, and this is true with Instagram. How many times are you posting a day? Are you posting once a day on Instagram? Are you posting 6 to 10 times a day on Twitter? Like, there are proven methods, right, to that. Because I am trying to grow as a business, both as a wine content creator and as a live stream producer and media company, I do both. And I'm very adamant about the fact that there needs to be room for both. I call it the 80-20 model, and I'm not going to explain that. You need to be at our panel, and I will explain the 80-20 model on the panel. But there is a way that you need to look at live video, and that you need to look at video that is for and or thought about in terms of produced value and where that's being repurposed. Because if you think about just live streaming, whether it's pure engagement or whether it's for repurposing, there's 3 parts to it. And you need to think through that entire process. Sometimes you need to be more engaging. Sometimes you need to be more produced. There's room for both, and it needs to be part of your digital marketing strategy. Where's my mic? Drop it.
Right.
Go.
There it is. Knock it down. Just knock it over. The microphone. Just push it on. Mic drop. It dropped to the desk.
It did. Totally.
It did.
It's a $79 mic. I'm not dropping it on my desk.
So,
all right.
Any other questions or final talking points? Can we have wine on our panel? I think that should be like a thing.
There better be.
Typically not, but I think we should.
Oh, Maya, you better bring some wine.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, I'm bringing some wine. But I'm not gonna drink on the panel. Y'all know I'm not gonna drink. Y'all have cocktails.
Why? Why are you not gonna drink on the panel?
Because you guys know I'm
just something light. I mean, it's 10:30, so I mean,
some rosé. Rosé.
Just to loosen us up.
Because it's 5%.
There you go.
Rosé. Yes, way.
Okay. I'm sorry. If you have to.
Really quick. Let me just real quick. Hey, you guys in Periscope. I just want to say real quick. Hey, you guys in Periscope. Thank you guys for checking us out. Please try to follow all 3 of these ladies all over social media. We have Tarita. Did I say Tarita? Did I say Tarita?
Did you just create a mashup of Tanisha and Sarita? Did they become Tarita?
Hey, girl,
both of y'all, and I'm gonna put that in the camera.
On social.
Guys, find them all on social media. I'll drop the links. And thank you guys for checking us out on Periscope. I'll be back later on to recap. And I can't wait to see all of y'all. I just can't wait.
It's like 2 weeks, girl.
Right.
It'll be great. Don't be late.
Yes.
All right, so I'll just really quick recap everything. Thank you, Tanisha, for being the brainchild of this panel and making it all make sense and putting a lot of work behind the scenes. I'm really looking forward to having you as our moderator and reining this craziness in, because I'm gonna find some rosé. I need a little rosé on that. You can. Then you're not on our level. You need to be on our level.
Oh, wow.
Get on my level, Maya.
My hair, I will be purple. So people keep you know how many emails DMs
I'm about to mute her. She can just go. Save it for the recap.
Can I say really quick that
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm getting a lot of followers for like weave companies. Like, girl, have you seen my hair? I'm not even that girl, but I'm gonna follow you anyway. We gotta keep it going. But go ahead. I'm listening.
And don't mind us if we derail on our panel at all. It's just going to be a lot of fun.
It's gonna happen.
It's going to happen. You got to have a lot of personality as a live streamer, as a video creator.
Yeah.
We're not gonna drink. We only have 1 hour.
What? What you mean we not gonna drink?
You're not winning this battle.
What are we doing?
So,
It's
What are
3
you
years old.
doing?
I'm like, stop playing.
so I just.
I don't know if it's the reason. That's funny.
Listen, detox, do whatever you need to do because you know you're gonna drink for the entire time.
Have a kombucha
Oh,
From
I
sun up to
remember
sundown.
fine, but
The day after, I'm going on liver detox. I remember last year.
Did you? Okay, good.
but on that day,
I heard Zephyr is actually giving out livers. It's like a party gift.
Listen.
Like,
oh, is it in the swag bag?
it's in the swag bag. Free livers for everybody because you're going to need a new one after this.
Do we need to sign up? Cause
Yeah, and there was only actually like 10 tickets for free livers, and they were gone within 2 hours.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you very much for watching. It has been a very true, very engaging, very authentic way to meet all of the lovely women behind this panel. Again, Maia Parrish from The Wine Mistress or The Wine Suite on Facebook, Sarita Chavez from Vine Me Up and The Swirl Suite, and then Tanisha Townsend from Girl Meets Glass. We really appreciate you coming out. We look forward to speaking a little bit more about video, getting in depth on Saturday, November 11th at the Wine Bloggers Conference, 10:30 a.m. Be there.
be there, be there, be